to another episode of Graceful Touch Speaks Out, where we speak with leading people within the area of health as it relates to their passion, their purpose, and their pursuit. Today I have the special honor of giving you a word from Michelle DeWitt. Did I get that right? Dwight?
Yes, absolutely.
There we go. Michelle, welcome to the call.
Thank you.
And I have three words. Awesome. I have three words for you. I've been there. Why do you think those would be my three words for you?
Oh, of course it comes from my book.
Well, there you go. So tell me a little bit about the background of I've Been There.
Well, with that particular title, it came from me giving of course, the book is about an autobiography of my life. And, when you have conversations with people, they can relate. The first thing they say, you know what, I've been there. I've been on that road. I've been on that track. And so that's what came to mind because of the autobiography, the different stages that I've taken in life. I share all of my good stuff with you.
Awesome. So let me ask you this. What would be the underlying base, rock solid purpose of this book?
The purpose of this book is to let others know that they're not on a journey alone in this life. You also have other people that have been on certain paths that you have been on, unique paths that you think may be unique to you. Others have experienced it. So the ultimate goal of my book, I've Been There, is just to let you know that you're not alone and you can be victorious and you can be successful.
Because I know a little bit about the background that you come from and whatnot, I'm going to kind of lean in that direction. Who would it be that would want us to think we're alone and we're the only ones like this and no one else has this problem? Who is it that would want us to think that that's the case?
Absolutely. It would be the adversary. It would be the adversary, most definitely. That is his job. His job is to isolate us. His job is to make us think that we are not going to ever be successful. His job is to make sure that we have anxiety, depression, low self-esteem. That is his job. He's on his job. We got to be on ours.
What's our job?
Well, our job is to keep going. It is our job to do that. Every time you wake up in the morning, you should say thank you and move forward. Even if you have that little small pain in your back or maybe in your leg or whatnot, the point is that you're still alive. You're still breathing. So you have the opportunity and the chance to now have another day, a fresh start. And it's not always going to be gloomy. It's not always going to be sad. A day of disappointments is not a day of disappointments. And let me explain that. We have 24 hours in one day. And this 24 hours in a day does not mean from 12 midnight until 12 midnight it does not mean that the whole day has been gloomy and pitiful and just destructive. At some point in that day, you had something going on good for yourself. I don't care if it's that you were ordering your great lunch. You were able to order the best lunch for yourself. You have to start thinking, the adversary will have you thinking that everything is just boom, bam, against a brick wall. You have to change your mindset. You have to do that. The way to do that is by being around people that are positive, making sure that you promote positive energy and that the people in the room that you are with are also giving out positive energy. Read encouraging quotes. Read victorious books. Get your friends that you talk with. There's got to be someone in that group that you speak with that are silly. Go and talk to them to make yourself laugh. Laughter is good for the soul.
Laughter is good for the soul. Well, that kind of leans towards the question I had, because, this is a podcast about talking about health and whatnot, but you're talking about the mind and thinking and the way that we process information and whatnot. Does this have any bearing on our health?
Yes, absolutely. If you're not breathing accurately, that can clog your thought, your mindset, your thought. So a lot of times when we get stressed out, we'll take a big puff and that's that. When we should back up, when we get a little frustrated, and go ahead and take some deep breaths and some slow breaths, because now we're releasing that frustration out, and we are resetting our minds. We're resetting it into a calm place, and we need to do that, because if we don't, and we have all this stress thrust upon us, we can get headaches, and it can go even further than that. It can go to a stroke. You can have a heart attack. I have a cousin that I would have never thought she would have a stroke, and she did. And she's a beautiful young lady, and she had a tiny little stroke, and she didn't think that pain that was in her arm was anything. She didn't, but she was stressed out.
So you mentioned this is an autobiography of sorts, at least in part and whatnot. Well, do you want to unfold that a little bit more to give a little bit more weight to that concept? I mean, autobiography. I mean, what do you know about I've Been There?
Well, my book is a book of truth. I lay all the events out on the table, the good, the bad, the ugly, the horrific parts of my life, and I've been there. I open my book up talking about sexual abuse. I was abused as a child for many years. It started from 3.5, 4 years old, and it continued throughout my lifetime. At the age of 14, I was raped by a uncle, and I didn't tell anyone for 6 months. I was scared. A 14-year-old girl, as you know, we have emotions going on in our body. We're still trying to develop as a child, and so now I have taken on some adult behavior into this little girl's body that she was not ready for. I've been exposed to some terrible things in my life as this young girl, and having this horrific traumatic experience in my life. It triggered me to, when I have certain smells, it triggered me. To this day, I can't, because of during the process of me being violated, I smelled washing powders, and it was Tide. To this day, I don't use Tide washing powders because of that trigger. People need to understand that even though you had some horrific experiences in your life, it does not mean that it's the end of the world. I had this happen to me, and it was family members who violated me. Those family members were a total of 4 or 5 family members, and they were all male. They were on my mother's side and my father's side. And as I grew, they thought I was pregnant because I didn't have a cycle for 6 months, of course. The doctors found out that actually I had a tumor that had developed in my womb, and it was attached to my left ovary. A 14-year-old girl now has to have major surgery, which leads to her having a partial hysterectomy, if you will. I had my left ovary removed.
Well, I'm going to stop you for just a minute, because that just really hit in. You did a good job answering my question before, but I think you just answered it even more. do they understand? Did they give any thought processes to why you had a tumor at 14?
They did not.
So, may I suggest a possibility is because of all the stress and trauma that you have been taking into that very young girl, and all of everything that is being, and well, you get that kind of. At age 9, I was on verge of a major ulcer because of a similar background. But the 9-year-olds should not have tumors. 14-year-olds should not have tumors. 9-year-olds should not have ulcers. That's too young. But if you've got that much stress, that much anxiety, that much, hitting you at that age, then it becomes a very probable thing, because that's a lot of weight for a 14-year-old girl. That's a lot of weight to carry around. So, as you're, at that time, at that point in your life, did you have all your thoughts straight? You knew where? Of course not. You're 14.
No.
All these negative thoughts come and whatnot. I can't even trust my family.
Right.
This is supposed to be my family, and they're violating me. And I don't even really know what that word means.
Right.
And so
I had no way of knowing. I was so scared. I was terrified.
You know what? They say cancer is the leading cause of death, or at least one of the three. I would disagree with them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the leading cause of death is fear.
Yeah.
So, anyway, go ahead and continue on forward.
No, I mean, that is so good. That's good information. I, like you said, they never explained to my mother. Only thing they said is she has a tumor the size of a basketball, and another tumor is attached to her that's the size of a golf ball. And when they went in, they told my mom if I didn't have the surgery, I would die because it started turning in my belly. And when they went in, they said it had already turned and it was about to burst. That's why they had to remove my left ovary. I didn't know anything about any of that. My mom took me to several doctors. Now I've already been raped. And now here it is. I got strangers looking between my legs again, because my mother was told I was pregnant. Then another doctor said, no, it's a tumor. Then another doctor said, no, she's pregnant. Oh my gosh, it was so terrifying. I had all emotions all over the place. I was everywhere as a 14-year-old. I was scared. I was mad. I was fearful. It was just everything at that point. And my mom, she was frustrated too.
Again, you talked about the adversary earlier. Scared, mad, angry. I know you used another word, fearful.
Frustrated.
Who brings those kind of attributes into the puzzle? Who?
Absolutely. He wanted me as a young child. He wanted me, and so just to respond to that, which one of us doesn't he want dead? Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Because he knows our future. Right. He knows what's going to happen. He knows.
Yep.
And so with that happening, I went through that process, and then I became very promiscuous due to the fact of what I went through. I was looking for love. I grew up in an abusive home, and I was looking for someone to love. I needed to get this feeling filled into me. It's just like some people would drink alcohol to kind of dissolve that memory for a moment, or drugs, whatever have you, to get that feeling fulfilled for that moment. It's not something that lasts a long time.
Because you knew you weren't going to get it at home. And so you had to go out to the world to find it. Which is, at that time, in that way, is the worst place in the world you want to go to try and find it.
Absolutely. It was horrible.
Continue.
Oh no, it was horrible. It was horrible, the things that I did. And then I ended up pregnant. My book talks about my pregnancy, what I went through. I actually went through domestic violence, being pregnant at 16. I tried to...
Okay, so now you're 2 years older. You're 2 years older. Now you're dealing with pregnancy. Have you given birth, or are you pregnant?
Giving birth. Well, I'm at 16 and a half. I'm about to give birth at this point. 16 and a half. About to give birth.
And going through domestic violence.
And going through domestic violence with this guy. That man, it was horrible.
Now you've got violent abuse now, and it's like, what do I do with this? How can I move forward with this?
Right. I got back into that shuttle. I can't share anything with anyone because I know the last time I shared, it was horrible. So why am I going to share that I'm getting beat by this guy? Nobody's going to care. So
now we've got trust issues.
Right. Exactly. Who can I trust? Who can I go to? My dad's not going to do anything. My mom's too broken to help me. I'm not close to any of the family members. Even my brothers, they would want to fight him. So I don't want all this on me. I don't want this attention anymore. So I dealt with it for a while. After I gave birth to my son, I went through post-traumatic stress syndrome. Is that what it is? PTSD?
Yep.
And I didn't know what that was.
Hang on a second. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. So that is PTSD. That's after I had my son. I started feeling depressed.
When you come home from the military and whatnot, in a war zone?
No, what is it? Wait a minute. So which one is it that the women have after they give birth?
Are you talking about PMS and the other one?
I can't think of the other name. Oh man.
Well, I could see what you're talking about is PTSD. I definitely think that could be the situation because you've gone through hell.
Right, exactly. It has been.
And you're only 16. You're not even 20 yet.
No, not even 20. Man, it was horrible. I got him home. I think he was maybe a week old, maybe 2 weeks. I remember saying I didn't want him anymore. I was overwhelmed with a baby now. What am I to do with a baby? I'm still a baby. I don't know what I'm doing. And I tried to end my life. It didn't work, of course, because I'm here, so I'm successfully alive. But
so now, I'm just building this forward as you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone through sexual, we've gone through violence. Now we're going through suicidal situations. And I'll tell you this, I've been there.
Yeah.
And, I've been there. I've walked through that too in my own life. But now you're going through suicidal situations and all of this. How old are you now?
I am 49.
No, not now. In the story.
Oh, 16. 16.
You're still 16. And now you've had it. You're done.
Right. Exactly.
Not only are you done, but it sounds like with that mental confusion, mental trauma, and everything going on, you're ready for your baby's life to be done too.
Yeah, I wanted my family to adopt him, get him. I didn't want him anymore. I didn't want him.
Okay,
and
so you were willing to let him go. You were willing to let him go. Because I know, like, when my mom went through her situation, she at one point thought about driving off a cliff with us 3 kids in the car.
Wow. Ooh.
And so she just didn't have any bearing on life. It was over, no matter if it be for her or her kids or whatever, but the only solution she could think of is to drive off the cliff. Glad that she didn't do that.
Wow, right.
So, all right. We see the background, and, to really get a more grip on the book and whatnot, I think a person should go ahead and get I've Been There. But all this horrible stuff, and now you did say that you're 49 now. that, if I'm doing my math correctly, that's about 40 years.
Yeah.
And if I may be so bold as to say, you don't look like you are suicidally depressed today.
No, not at all. And it's only by the grace of God.
What was the turning point?
Christ.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Christ.
How did that work?
Actually, when I got home from the hospital trying to do that, I stayed in the hospital for a week. They told my mom and dad that if the ambulance hadn't come within 30 more minutes, I would have been dead. And
you did actually attempt.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, here's a question I have, though, that I often think about in situations like this. It's men that have been sexually abusive.
Mm-hmm.
It's men that had been violently abusive to you. It's men that had been promiscuously violent to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to say that it's a man that you gave your heart to?
Absolutely, yes.
So how did that work? Wouldn't that just be like the total you, as you know, I'm a believer too. But wouldn't that just work against every grain of every ounce of being that you have? What happened?
I know, right? Because I was pushing away, and I had these women that come to my house, and they began to tell me the story of what true love feels like. And it was the you know how you want to go to the park, and they say they have the cotton candy, they have you can run around and play, and all these different rides. If you can imagine in your mind, as a child would feel to know that they're going to the amusement park and get to run around. That's how the story went for me. It was like, here it is, this man, he's going to come into my life, and he's not going to hurt me. He's not going to pressure me. He's actually going to really love me in the spirit realm, which was kind of confusing, but I would rather have that than somebody pushing themselves up on me or abusing me. Let me try this. And the way they explained Christ to me, it was so beautiful. I wanted to learn more. And so I did. I accepted Christ into my life at that time. I didn't have a relationship with him because I did veer off a little bit. The relationship
so I'm going to jump in on you again. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
But you accepted Christ into your life, and then everything just got smooth and beautiful. There was no more problems. And ever since then, no? No.
No. They also warned me, too, that once I accept Christ into my life, that that doesn't mean that the adversary is not going to stop coming. The thing is that even though he would try to come and tempt me, I had an advocate that would come, and he would come and protect me, shield me, comfort me like none other. And I wanted to try it. Really, let me try this out, because if this is what it is. And so they walked with me. It was a hard change because I was addicted to.
Okay, what were you addicted to?
I was addicted to sex.
May I challenge that?
Absolutely.
May I suggest you were addicted to abuse?
I was addicted to abuse too.
Mm-hmm. Well, the sex, that's out of your control.
Oh, I see.
Form of abuse, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Absolutely, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So that's why a lot of individuals don't make it out of the victim abuser lifestyle, because they're addicted to it. It's what they need. It's what they want. It's what's familiar to them.
Yes.
But it sounds like you made it out.
I did. It took a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of praying, a lot of crying at night, because my body was wanting it so badly. It's just no different than alcohol or being on drugs. your body desires that. It wants it bad. And I had to go through a cleansing process, and it was hard. It was tough. But just as you said, today, I thank God that I am here. I can share my story with everyone. It's better for you to get my book because I go in more detail about everything.
Yeah.
But it's the book tells a lot. But I am happy to share it. It took some time to heal. I didn't get to go through counseling. I didn't have that. It was nobody but God that delivered me. The things that I've gone through, and people I've talked with, they said I would be insanely crazy right now.
So, may I suggest the possibility that although I know there are counselors and they do good and whatnot, the real only healer that you possibly can go to, and I'm a massage therapist, I will say the same thing as it relates to the body, is Christ.
Yeah.
There's these other tools and whatnot along the way, vessels that have a little bit of knowledge here and there, but I can't heal people. I don't have that ability. He can. And that, I think, you say it was the only one you could go to. Well, it's the only one anyone can go to, and it's the only one that we seem to want to push away.
It is. And it's because we can't sit and face to face with him. We don't have that physical body. And so we're thinking, oh, he's not here, but he is always there. He has always been there. We're just not accepting it and acknowledging that he is there. But once you try him and he proves who he is to you, you'll see. I listened to my pastor. He said that he was an atheist, and he said that somebody told him about Christ and blah blah blah. So this person challenged him for 1 year to get up and pray for 30 minutes and increase it every month till you get up to an hour. And he did. He said to this day he had to stop praying because God has talked back to him, and he accepted Christ.
What you just did was you gave a lot of hope, because the person that probably challenged him may not have stayed in his life. I speak with a lot of people that I'm in and I'm out. When I'm in, they are atheists, or they're agnostic, or they're this, or they're that. That's how I know, and then I leave.
Yep.
Next thing I know is I'll be looking around in the kingdom of Christ, and I'll be saying, "Wait, you were the atheist. What are you doing?"
Yes.
So, that's a lot of hope for people of Christ, and for people that right now are choosing to reject Christ, because just because that's where you're at today doesn't mean that's where you need to be tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You mentioned as far as that, he's with us all the time. If I may be so bold as to share just one scripture.
Absolutely.
John 14:6. Jesus saith, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Unto the Father, beside me there is no other.
No other.
If he's not all around and whatnot, then that's like trying to use a GPS that's 1,000 miles away from you. How's that going to work?
Absolutely. No way.
No, it's not going to work. You got to have that GPS right here. We have to have Christ in our lives. Our lives. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So, if you could reach only one person, you can only choose to reach one person to give this book to. You're going to give this book away to one person. What would be the characteristics of that person be?
That person that hurt me, and they know that this was the right timing. They thought that they were going to walk away and commit suicide today. They knew that this was the day. But after hearing this, they said, I'm going to keep on. I'm going to make it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the one that is really down and doesn't look like there's any hope at all.
Yeah.
Went right in their midst, even though it's so hard to see. Because it was hard for me to see. It's so hard to see. They have nothing but hope. But I can't see that so well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. How would that person get the book?
If that person is listening, they DM me and said, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna move forward. If that person is listening and they hear me talking and I get that first DM from that person off your show, they will receive a free book from me. A signature book from me. I will sign the book and I will send it to them. But they have to be the very first person off of your show.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So how would they get in hold of you in order to do that?
Well, they can reach me on my social media sites. My social media site is author_DeWitt on Instagram. Also, I can be reached. I'm on Facebook as well.
Let me stop here for a minute. Author_DeWitt, your last name.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. DEWITT.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's Instagram. What else?
That's Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. I have a website on Facebook, and they can find me under www.unbreakfth is the initials for unbreakablefaith.com. So if you go out,
let's go through that again because I got a little lost.
Okay.
Go through that again.
It's www.u as in unicorn, N as in Nancy, B as in Bob, R as in rodeo. I just lost myself. UNB UNBRK as in kite, F as in Frank, T as in Tom, H as in Harry.com. So it's UNBRKFTH.com, unbreakablefaith.com, and if you go to that site and you look on the very first page, it has my book there. If you scroll down, you'll see my book, and you can click on that. It's DeWitt'sDelight.company.site. If you want to go to that, it's on the Facebook page, and if you want to go to it's DeWitt's, my name, DEWITTS, DeWitt'sDelight.company.site to get my book. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on YouTube, but I'm not doing a lot right now, but I am up there. But so those are the two main ways. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, my name is Guy Severson. I'm the co-owner of Graceful Touch Massage Therapy here in Rapid City. The link I would like people to go and see is our brand new, as of today, launch on teaching people, just the average person, how to do massage. That's going to be at stopyourpain.club. Stopyourpain.club. It costs all of $10. And so, yeah, just go check that out. But now we're going to come back to you, Michelle. I am looking for a golden nugget to take away from everything that you've said here today.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I have that I tell people is this: your pain today will be your strength tomorrow. And that's by Tim Keller. Your pain today will be your strength tomorrow. Just know this. Keep living. And you have to keep forgiving too. Because this is the thing. Joy truly does come in your morning.
Absolutely. You know, I'm going to just lean on that a little bit. Can you actually live without forgiving?
No.
I don't think so either. I really don't think it's possible. You can be alive, but you really don't experience life until you begin forgiving And typically, or a lot of times, who's the first person to start forgiving?
Right.
Who is the
Yourself.
first person? Exactly.
Yourself.
So as you then forgive yourself and allow the cleansing of Christ to come into you, then you can reach out to the world around and begin to forgive those that, you're able to. Some people may have been deceased by now.
Absolutely.
But you can still forgive them.
Yes.
You can still forgive them.
I tell people that those people that are not around that may have violated you, you can write them a letter and burn it, stomp on it if you have to, rip it apart and say, you know what, you have no control. I know that you're dead, but I still allowed you to have control in my life. But you will no longer do this. Write their name down if you don't want to write a letter, and just crumble it up and step on it, because you're more valuable than that person. You can't stop. Only thing you can do is start to forgive yourself and tell yourself, you know what? Pick yourself up, wipe your face, wash your face. The Bible says to wash your face, wash your face, and start anew. Start anew. It's okay. It's okay.
So I feel inclined to share something with you. I don't generally do this, but are you familiar with a woman by the name of Helen Keller? No, that's not the right name. She was in the Holocaust.
Yes. You're talking about Annie or Anna? What's her name? I know you're talking about.
Okay. Anyway, she was in the Holocaust. She lost her sister in the Holocaust. And after the Holocaust, she was given the opportunity to have an audience with one of the guards who had mistreated her. And she was asked, "What is it?" Corey Ten Boom, that's who I'm thinking about. What is it that you would like to do with this guard? How shall we punish him? And her answer, forgive him.
Wow.
That's pretty huge. That
speaks volumes, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I'll be having a link go out to here shortly, and I'll share it out with Kevin so that it'll get to you. And may your journey forward be blessed.
Thank you. You have a wonderful and blessed day as well.
Awesome. Take care.
All right.